Check out thechosenprime.com in the link in the description below for this and other great items.
Alright everyone, welcome to another RFC Reviews. I'm your host Diecast, and today we have Transformers Masterpiece Cheetus. Cheetor, of course, from Beast Wars. He is MP-34, and just take a quick look at the packaging. Up here you have Transformers Masterpiece, some Asian writing. He is a Maximal MP-34 Cybertron Scout. Cheetus from Beast Wars. Beast Wars 2 logo, I think. Beast Wars, or 20th anniversary. I'm sorry. That's what that is. Takara Tomy on this side. On the side you have a picture of Cheetor. On the other side you have a picture of Cheetor in his Cheetah mode. On top you get Transformers Masterpiece. On the bottom you get warnings, and you can use a stand with this. That's what they're trying to say right there. And on the back you get some product shots of Cheetor and all his accessories that he comes with. So that is it for the packaging. We'll take a quick look at his collector's card. Here you have the back and the front with that nice Beast War eye behind it. Really digging that. And one of these things was, I think the instructions said, like, his intelligence is a 5, which kind of makes me laugh because all the times he, was getting in trouble. So, he was a young bot also, but the intelligence kind of gave me a little bit of a chuckle. So, and then he does come in this clamshell packaging. You do have 2 alternate faces, which we'll take a look at real quick. And they do have alternate eyes. Oops, get them in camera. They do have alternate eyes also, and you can swap the eyes with any figure by simply pulling them out, just like that, which looks a little weird, definitely. And then you just pop them back in the head. So anyone you want, you can do that. Their mouths do open and close, which is very nice. And we'll put those 2 away. And then these are the alternate 2 faceplates for robot mode, just so you can take a look at them. And I'm not sure really what the difference is on these 2. I'm sure his one eye is a little bit smaller on this one, but not terribly, not too much terribly different. Close that up, get that out of the way, and let's get into this guy. And before we get into articulation, let's do a shot with the 2 Beast Wars masterpieces that we have right now. And there you have him with the boss bot, Optimus Primal. And I say boss bot because that is what Cheetor in the show would call Optimus. There is this waist issue, and I don't know if I mistransformed him, but I think he was this way out of the box too. Kind of has this little bit of give in the middle, which doesn't bother me, just because once you have it standing, it closes up. I think it would have been a big bother if it didn't close up when you were posing him in beast mode. Yeah, beast mode, that's it. The other thing I want to point out, this is how his head pops off, just like that. My head was pushed in, and there was no articulation up or down or side to side, just because when this is collapsed, you can't get anything. It does pop out, but you will pop his head off, or it does pop into place, but you will pop his head off before that ever even moves. So what I had to do was actually pull that out with my teeth till you heard a pop, or till you felt the click that it was locked into place. And then I put his head back on, and I had all the articulation I needed. So just so you're aware. See, it did pop in again. Just putting his head on. If you put it off to the side, that'll probably make it less likely to pop in, and then you can get the up and down movement. Again, like I said, it's just of course it's on camera. It's gonna be difficult. At first, I didn't even know. I was like, does this have articulation? And then I figured it out. And once you have it in the right spot, you can actually get a lot of decent poses with him, with the mouth open, whatever you want. And again, the back of the head for me or the back of the neck keeps kind of popping out of place. But let's go ahead and we'll go over articulation. On the side, his arms can go forward on this hinge right here. And then you can get some outward movement on this hinge. Then he does have a rotation right above the elbow, or his elbow. And then the leg can go completely straight, or you can get a little bit more than 90 degrees. And the paw, you can get a good range of motion on the paw to put wherever you want. The back legs, they can go in and out this way. You have the rotation right above his back knee. Then you got a good 90 degrees each way at the knee. No rotation below, but his paw can go forward and back about that far just because that's where it sits in, and the paw can go back to make it straight, or you can curve it to the front about that much. So as far as cheetah mode goes, or beast mode, he's got plenty of articulation, and he's a very long cheetah. I mean, here is Titan's Return Skull Cruncher, just to do a size comparison to see how long they are, and he's pretty long. Let's bring in Blur too, just to throw him in there, and you can see the comparison between the three. So he's a pretty long cheetah. And then his tail is on two hinges. You have one right here and also one right here. All in all, pretty nice. Let's go ahead and start to get him into his robot mode. First thing we want to do, and this is a little bit of parts forming, so some people might be upset. This whole section right here just pops off, just like that. And then these pieces in here will rotate in. There's going to be a spot right there where it naturally allows it to stop. Same thing on this one. Bring that in. And then these pieces rotate and turn around, and they even lock in on the top there, which is nice. Everything has good tolerances and seems to peg into somewhere, which is really nice, except for one of the major things, but we'll get into that a little bit later. And then you can flip this gun out. You got to spin it around. You can hear how tight that is, and flip that the rest of the way down. And then his handle, you just push down on the top, then pull it out the rest of the way. And that is his sniper kind of gun. You can also peg the tail in to the bottom of the gun and also the handle. So that is his sniper weapon, all transformed. Put that off to the side. And we're going to come to the underbelly of the beast, which is painted pretty nice. You have that nice definition. There is a little bit of a hole there due to transformation. But now we just got to get this piece loose and out of there. And this will form his other gun. We're going to do the same thing, bring that handle out. There's a little notch there to get your nail into so you can flip that out. And then you open up the back section and then you can flip out the gun here. And that's his regular gun blaster that he normally used in the show. So those are the only two pieces of parts forming that we have, but they turn into weapons, and I am really impressed what they did with these Beast Wars characters. I would expect Dinobot to have something similar, just because I don't know how else they would do Dinobot, and you know, if they're going to have to do some parts forming, at least making it a weapon doesn't cheapen it as much as, like, you know, just parts that have to come off and get put other places. So let's go ahead and get down into the legs. First thing you want to do on these legs is you want to flip them completely around. I'm doing this first so I don't forget. That way these pieces are facing you. And you can also unpeg them, unpeg it out the waist, rotate it around, close it back up. You can see where we're going. This is actually going to be the front right here. Then you're going to want to push from the inside of the leg these two pieces right here. That's going to bring up his kneecaps and get them out. And then the paws can rotate in and push inside his leg. Just got to get him at the right angle. And that will hide the back legs. Just like so. And you're going to flip out the heel on the feet. And then come down, pull the feet down. They will kind of soft lock into place. And then there's these two panels which you just close up on the legs, just like so. And you can see he does have ankle tilts. And then if these are tilting out, you know that you have the legs the wrong way, because that's what happened to me. And I was like, did I get two with the... I thought I got them with the wrong legs put on, like backwards, and I was like, oh, and then I realized I just had to rotate them around. So anyone who knows me knows I don't really like to look at the instructions all that much. I only like to if I'm stuck. So the waist just flips down, which was covering up this fake head for the chest, and then that just pushes down in and becomes his crotch piece. And then you can see he's getting taller. So let's angle the camera up just a tad. We're going to come up to the top of the bot. And then now at this point, oh, something I did forget to mention, he does have visible nipple syndrome. Those are actually the top of his head pointing out through the chest. But it is there. It is worth noting that, you know, visible nipple syndrome, that is the thing. But anyway, let's go ahead and we're going to pull these arms out just like that for now. And then these will rotate down, and these also get tabbed in to those tabs right there on the inside, and they will go in right there. Just like that. And same thing on this one. It's nice that you actually have a guide where everything's supposed to go. And then kind of got the legs messed up. You want this leg on this side to come down first, because you're going to see that peg right there. And then there's going to be that peg right there goes into that hole right there. And that locks the legs together. And there you have the back section done. You can see inside here there's some nice details. And now what you want to do is you're going to pull these arms out, and they will flip out and around just like that. And then you're going to collapse the arms up so they click in at the shoulder. And this is one of the most annoying parts, are the shoulders on this guy. Just like that. Because for me, when you move these shoulders, they pop apart, which I believe is a tolerance thing. It's a little bit better if you rotate this around, because they only do it when you're lifting the arm up. But they're a lot easier to tab back in, but then you have that screw on the front, which is not ideal. So I'm hoping by just being able to unloosen this, or, you know, loosen the screw just a little bit on the back side, that he's going to be a little bit easier to, or, you know, that won't pop out quite as much, because that is really bad. When all the other tolerances on this figure are so good, that's one of the things that's just not fun. We'll go ahead and collapse his head in, close up his mouth, and then we're gonna pull his robot head out, close it up on this hinge, and then you want to rotate everything around just like that, so his cheetah head is facing forward, and this whole back piece will come down and tab in, kind of soft on both sides. And then you're gonna, actually before you do that, you want to start bringing this head down, and there's two hinges up here. There's one right here and one right there. You want to bring that down, and you want to make sure that everything folds in. And this is another tolerance that I'm not really too fond of. Now that you bring this down, you have to bring in this blue piece, and it's going to tab in right underneath his neck right there in that slot. And I may have to do this on camera, or off camera, but it is so tight to get in there. There we go. Also, to pull it apart gave me a heck of a time, but you can see that just tabs in right there, which fills in this gap right here. Next we come to the next tolerance thing that really annoys me, is this head just pops off way too easy off this ball joint. So that is not ideal when everything else is so good. I don't know why that couldn't be just a little bit tighter, because if you go to lift his head up, it just pops right off that ball joint, and then his face comes off. Well, it didn't that time, but that's how you get the face off. If you want to swap it out, you can do that. There's just that one peg that it pegs into. But yeah, that's to look up. It does look a little bit weird if he's looking up too far, because of the way it's sculpted. You can see I'm trying not to pop it off, but the head just keeps popping off, which is frustrating. Yeah, that just looks weird, him looking up too far. But he can get a good deal of looking up if you want to. We'll just put his head down for now. He can look down just a little bit, just due to that ball joint being so loose. And then these can angle in just a little bit on the arms, but they don't lock in. So a lot of the photos, you will see his arms like that, just because they don't lock in anywhere. And for everything else, including the legs on the back having a place to lock in, I don't know why this is okay. He's got so much movement in the shoulders. These pieces don't need to be loose like that. They should lock in right there. That he can only get his arm down that much without that hinge, and then he can get his arm down the rest of the way. Now, the only other thing left to do on this guy is we're just going to take these panels, and this is on like a swivel, and just push that down, and that kind of pushes the panel a little bit further back on his arm. That's the other thing. These hands will pop off. They will pop off. It's just, he looks great. There's just a couple little things that are just very frustrating about him. He does have a nice double jointed elbow, so he gets, you know, a full, he can bend his elbow all the way. And again, you can see these parts are just popping off. So let's go ahead and I'll grab a screwdriver and I'll see if that will help. Alright, so let's just rotate these arms around for now. I'm just going to turn, of course. These arms can also go in and out due to that transformation. I think the tip's too small. God, they were in there. There we go. I just did about a quarter turn because I don't want to loosen them too much. It feels like it's just stripping. Let's see if that helped at all. Yeah, that helped a little bit. Actually helped a lot. So you can see now he can turn his arm or turn his top of his shoulder without that popping apart. There we go. Same thing on this one. He can now turn his upper part of his arm or shoulder without everything popping apart every time you move it. So I think that's the way to go. I'm sure he'll still be able to hold his gun. His gun is not heavy at all. Yeah, still able to hold his gun, no problem. So that's what you want to do when you get it. That's just one of those tolerances that they went way too tight on. And then you can see, because of the shoulder, you do get some extra rotation inwards. And let's go ahead, you already know the head is on a swivel, and that up and down joint, if you don't pop it off, like I just did again. And then his fingers do open up. These thumbs are the weirdest looking thumbs I've ever seen because they have 1, 2, 3 joints, and your thumb only has 1 and 2 at the back. We'll consider that a joint. So that one would have been fine. It's too long. The thumb is definitely like way too long. I just don't know who sculpted that hand. It just looks really, really strange. His hand does go in a little bit. You do have the wrist rotation, although you are kind of limited just due to the kibble on the side of his arms. Same thing on the other side. You do have a waist rotation, which is really nice. Of course, the back legs kind of get in the way of the waist rotation, but you can get a decent amount of swivel out of him, and then his legs can go all the way up very high, more than 90 degrees. Just watch the paw. You can get them all the way back and all the way forward. So legs are awesome. Knees are on a double joint also, so you can get more than 90 degrees. You can go forward as much as you want if you kind of slide this in a little bit, or kind of double use that extra joint. You can get some weird forward kind of stuff if you want. Rotation right above the knee, and like I said, the foot is on a rocker, and the heel can go back just a tad, but also forward due to transformation. No rotation at the ankle, but there you have Cheetor. And for size comparison, here he is with a deluxe class figure, Titans Return Hot Rod, and let's bring him in with Optimus Primal. And here you have Cheetor with the BotBots, just for a size comparison to those guys, and I think they definitely scale really well in robot mode, and I think they look great in their beast modes too. Really happy with these. I would not have expected that they would come out this nice. Definitely Cheetor is not perfect. I wish they would have addressed the head a little bit so it wouldn't be as easy to pop off. Also the shoulders, which, you know, is fixable, so it's just something that you shouldn't have to do. And the waist on the Cheetah mode, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but for the most part everything pegs in really well. And the thumb, that thumb is just so bad. But other than that, everything is really nice and really well done. I'm very happy to add this to my collection, and I recommend you add it to your collection too. And then hopefully we'll get a really nice Dinobot. Again, I don't know what to expect out of Dinobot. He's going to be a challenge, and I think with what I see from Cheetor, they're probably going to have to use some sort of parts forming as becoming weapons just to get this to be a decent Dinobot. I do expect a false chest, just like on this one. Oh, and the one other thing that I didn't mention that kind of bugs me about Cheetor is that those whiskers will get all messed up, all jacked up and bent from being in there. If you really don't mind having a little bit of gap on the back where his face, I would almost say pop the head off when you go to transform this. It will, you know, leave a couple little gaps because you can see his ears right there and the head. I don't know. I just wish the whiskers wouldn't get damaged just from having him in robot mode. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed the review. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. If you have any of the same issues I have, or have an issue that I didn't have, let me know in the comments below. Hit the like button. It's the #1 thing you can do to help me out, and it only takes 1 second, like half a second, to hit that like button. And make sure you subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you next time.